Be here with my partners, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille. And in our matchup,
we bring you tonight into Portland over the Burnside Bridge on a gorgeous evening here in the Pacific Northwest. We are live, the home of the Trailblazers, and we are nearly ready for the tip-off, but
well, thank you, Kevin. Now, Lehigh's C.J. McCollum has taken full advantage of his...
It certainly has, D.A. Love the mindset McCollum has, stepping right into the starting two-guard spot with great confidence. And for the Blazers, tremendous scoring talent in their backcourt. How did they turn the corner in the West?
Clearly, it's going to be with their defense. I think that's where they've had their struggles. They're going to have to get better at the point of attack there and protecting the rim. I think some of it has to do with the lack of discipline, but also you could factor that into being just an inexperienced young group that's still kind of getting their feet.
Now the opening lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. On the wings, Abrinas and George. Anthony is out there with Steven Adams. And it's Westbrook in at the point. Harkless kicks to McCollum. Over George. McCollum no good. Trailblazers on D. It's a three-point game. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
Yeah, and some of that loss was due to a lack of hustle, especially on the defensive end.
And there are games where an opponent gets aggressive. You got to raise your level of play. They failed to do that in this one.
Davis with a screen on Westbrook. And it's slammed in by Davis.
More and more, Damian Lillard becoming that dangerous playmaker. Does a great job there finding the open man.
George passes to Westbrook. Feeds to Adams. No good on that one. And the Trailblazers going the other way. And going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year.
And they were able to take the season series in that matchup last year. But overall, two teams that were very similar in the standings.
But he's just fearless and unafraid to go up into the traffic of the defense. Westbrook takes it right to the bucket and a well-deserved trip to the line. A lot of people look at Russell and think you roll the ball out, and with his athleticism and tenaciousness, he just takes it over. But the guy hits the film room. I mean, he studies up. He wants to know about his opponent. He wants to get better as a performer, get more consistent. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes with Russell Westbrook.
McCollum dishes to Davis. And Westbrook, here we go. Left side, Adams. Pass to Abrinas. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. Anthony's shot is off. And for Westbrook in his watching of film, he isn't looking for what he's doing on the floor. Rennie says he's gaining an understanding for everyone else.
I think that kind of approach is pretty heady, don't you, Kevin? The fact that Russell not only wants to improve himself, he wants to have a better understanding of every aspect of the game. That's his decision-making. That's where his teammates are finding success on the floor. Defensively, how teams are matching up with him. That's a lot to take in on top of the responsibilities he already has for this Oklahoma City team.
And Lillard kicks to Aminu. Shot from 12. And Portland again with the bucket.
How about Aminu showing some touch from the mid-range? The D has to D him up a little bit better.
Lillard against Westbrook. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. Westbrook's got his second basket of the night. Lillard against Westbrook. Davis with a screen on Westbrook. Over in the corner, Harkless. Lillard outside. Davis sets a screen. Clock at 6. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Lillard. Lillard's got 3 assists tonight.
Now here's a guy who has all the tools to be a threat inside. Davis still searching for his offensive consistency.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
Tipped away. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. Look at that.
And hustle paying off there for George in the open court. Gets up court in a flash and finishes before the D can even react.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. And And Brett, Al-Farouq Aminu, probably the best defender on this Blazers team.
Certainly the versatility is there, Kevin, but you like playing with him mostly at the 4. He rebounds well despite being a bit slender. It's his streaky perimeter shooting that makes it tough for the coaching staff to gauge just how many minutes Al-Farouq Aminu is going to play.
And so here's Portland, trailing by 2. Davis sets a screen. .152 left in the first quarter. Harkless kicks to Aminu. Lillard from outside. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Anthony's got 3 rebounds so far. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you see the athleticism George had on that dunk. It's so quick and explosive. Gets to the rim in an instant.
Here's Westbrook, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And Portland called for the foul.
Well, the chase for the triple-double last year with Russell Westbrook was one of the most incredible seasons the NBA has ever seen. And I think that everybody who's a ball player thinks about the point guard rebounding as tenaciously and as consistently as Russell did last season as being the most incredible part of his season.
The Thunder leading by 4. And here's George for 3. The long distance 3 is buried. George has got 9.
And there's never been any question about George's three-point range. He just goes through stretches where he knocks down the 3 at a ridiculous rate.
And Westbrook has always been a great rebounder, but that was seemingly the most surprising aspect of all of his triple-doubles.
Yes, 6'3" tall and leaping out of the building and over the top of guys 6'8", 6'10", and snatching boards. His previous high for rebounds was under 8 a game, which is impressive in its own right, but what a huge jump to grab over 10 in a triple-double season. Still remarkable stuff. Now you got to fight through things like this right now. His team needs him to shoot better. Just had a tough quarter.
Trailblazers trail by 7. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's Anthony. The putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
There's the screen. Here's Harkless. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there. Russell Westbrook has been leading the charge for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He finishes with 9 points in the quarter. The D is having all sorts of problems with him. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And now a chance to hear from point guard Damian Lillard as he explains his stoic demeanor on the floor.
Taught to, never let anybody see how you feel. I kind of just embraced it,
I would say we probably shouldn't expect to see Lillard starring in any reality shows about his personal life.
Lillard is a young man who is all about taking care of business.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. What stands out to you from Oklahoma City in this one?
Well, to me, the story of that first period was their rebounding.
Yeah, jumping out to a lead largely because they did the hard work on the glass. So you love the passion in the early part of this game that they're playing with.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for Portland, Al Farouk Amino is out there with Davis. Then it's Evan Turner. Then there's C.J. McCollum. And it's Napier in at the point. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, the Portland Trailblazers are developing a great chemistry for a young team. Damian Lillard takes the team to San Diego every September for bonding purposes, and he told me how much we like each other, how much time we spend around each other. That shows you a team that is really together. It is a unit. We have each other's back. Evan?
And it's critical to establish camaraderie early on. Thank you, D.A. Sounds like Lillard has this team headed in the right direction.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Shots good by Turner. Hey, Brent, looking at the mental aspect of the game, we usually think about crafty veterans, but who are some of the craftiest young players that you see right now?
That's a good question, Kevin. I might have a few surprise answers for you. How about Tyler Johnson, maybe? Malcolm Brogdon in Milwaukee
Great
last
names.
year, who showed some things as an older rookie playing 4 years in college at Virginia. Chris Dunn, he's got a bit of trickery to him. And the last guy I'll throw out there is Joe Ingles. Has a little spice to his game when he's got the basketball in Utah.
And their shots are falling now with more regularity than we saw at first.
And Davis sends it back.
It's a wonder we don't see more of that from Davis. He has the live legs and instincts to be a premier shot blocker in the league.
Westbrook drives in, and Westbrook throws it down.
And what a beautiful way to polish off that sequence. Just strong at attacking the rim.
That just puts a little more momentum on their side, don't you think?
Absolutely.
And that's where the defense failed. You can't let him throw that down. You've got to get over and foul him, send him to the free throw line.
Turner against George. Just 5 on the clock. With some arc, it's good, and the Thunder lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Turner.
Turner does a good job of just winding his way and burrowing to the rim. Good job finishing down low.
Patterson can't get it to go. For Portland, they've gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Cullen passes to Turner. He kicks to Aminu. That ball, nice speed that time from Turner. Now just a 5-point Thunder lead. Here's George, and George with the stuff.
And George just has that extra gear. Well, once he kicks into it, he is nearly impossible to stop.
The Trailblazers have gone 5 of 7 from the field here in the second. They double him with George. Here's Napier. Davis with a screen on Westbrook. And a wide open look for McCollum. Buries the long-range jumper. McCollum's got 5 points now this quarter. Here's Felton. And it goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Felton.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Russell Westbrook. Last season, he played outstanding. He was around 31 points a game last year, 10 assists and 10 rebounds. And impressive numbers, no doubt. It's the kind of run we've come to expect from him.
Synergy, all elements right now working together, and the game is coming so easy right now.
Aminu with a screen on Felton. McCollum kicks to Napier. And the Trailblazers, another 3. Greg, you watch the Thunder play, and it's clear that this team comes out looking to attack. Everyone on the team wants to put it on the floor and go right at the rim.
And part of that is their leader, Westbrook, just setting the tone. I mean, team finished near the top in points in the paint last season, and the addition of Paul George just helps to enforce that strength.
Davis sets a screen. George against Turner. From deep three-point range, it's rebounded by Oklahoma City. They've led by as many as 11 points. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
And this is why depth is so important. You know, next man up, and it's pretty much the philosophy for every good team in our league.
But you're going to have injuries. You're going to have nights where there's foul troubles or the starters just struggle. So you need a strong bench to remain consistent in this league.
Yeah, the defender all over.
Portland may have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. A different look now for Portland. Harkless comes in for Al Farouk Aminu. And it's Pat Connaughton in for Turner. Then for the Thunder, Anthony's checked in for Patterson. Jeremy Grant comes in for George. And it's Brewer in for Raymond Felton. Anthony's shot is off. Trailblazers have gone 7 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Harkless with the bucket.
And that's what you want in transition, a high percentage opportunity.
The story is true, and here the defense does a very poor job of matching up.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and C.J. McCollum mostly plays at that off-guard spot with the Blazers, but on a lot of teams, you could see him as the lead guard. I mean, 6'3" in height, and his handles are elite.
And C.J. McCollum can step in.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
It's a beautiful jam.
You got your scorecard out, Kevin. That might be a 50, or are we going 100 or 1,000? Westbrook with a unique combination of power and athleticism.
Here's Connaughton. He's covered by Grant. Anthony with the block.
If they increase the tempo, they got a chance at a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and you're going to have to get up a quick shot to make that happen.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. And the foul goes against Portland. And he's got his first free throw of the game.
And Melo's still bringing the passion to the floor. No matter what's going on around, he's still going to be a gamer.
And Portland making a change here. Lawson's checked in. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Lawson is doubled. Pass to Connaughton. The dish now to McCollum. Ball's knocked loose. It's taken away by Brewer. And it's Brewer finishing it off.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
Well, it fires up your teammates and the fans when you make plays like that out in the open court and explosive.
And so it's Oklahoma City with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks a lot. Damian, you guys got off to a great start, but what is this team doing to give you problems?
They're a really good offensive team. And they came out and they made shots. And that makes it even harder when the team gets that confidence going early in the game. But we picked up our energy. We got out and ran on offense.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet. It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He ended up with 15 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
Well, they're putting bodies on people. If you just look at the rebounding numbers, you can tell that they've been putting their body on and being more physical than the other team. Now, that fact looms large on both sides, and that's going to be the difference in the second half.
Jack, how do you think Portland played?
Well, I didn't even know who some of these guys.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
A look at the Hawthorne Bridge in gorgeous downtown Portland as we welcome you back to Oregon. Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely... The Thunder leading by 6. So the Thunder 5 right now. On the wings, Abrinas and George. Adams is out there with Anthony, and it's Westbrook in at the 1. Back to George. They get a hand on it. And here is Harkless. And he banks in the layup. Harkless has got the first points of the second half up on the board for the Trailblazers.
Terry Stott's one of the better coaches in this league, but he really does a great job of making sure that it's always about his players and never about him. One thing Portland has working in its favor is that they've dug in with Terry Stotts as their coach. They have that kind of continuity, and he allows these players to shine up here in the Pacific Northwest. That's when the sun comes out.
Anthony, no good on the free throw. You talk about Terry Stotts empowering the players. He respects their independence, Brent, even as he's calling shots. He doesn't put himself above the team.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Terry Stotts has done a great job of establishing great relationships with his star players, his younger players. And the fact that they've been together, I think there's just a greater understanding of what he expects from them, the type of respect that they give him back. And it ends up working out very well for the Blazers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. It's good, and the Thunder lead is cut back down to 6. They get the basket from Harkless.
And defensively, this is the opposite of how you want to start the second half.
Yeah, it's like 4 teenagers at home over the summer, just not enough activity. You've gotten your rest. It's time to man up.
Adams' shot is off.
Wonderful defense, staying active around the rim and then really putting the shooter in a tough spot.
And it's slammed in by Davis.
Well, he's underrated, Davis, as an athlete. He can get up there in a hurry.
Outside for George. That 3 off the mark. Trailblazers trail by 4. Guys, this offense very effective.
And guys, the defense has been no match. They've just picked them apart.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Fellas, Al-Farouq Aminu has established himself as a great defensive player, and he wants that recognition. He said, my goal every year is to be Defensive Player of the Year. I want to guard 1 through 4 and even 5 sometimes. I want it to be known that I'm a great defender, and I want the league to recognize that. Kevin?
Thanks, David. Aminu continues to prove his worth on the defensive end. His length and quickness certainly hard to deal with.
Well, as a defender, you cannot let Aminu get a full head of steam on the drive. That's his best offensive move.
Johnson, he's checked in for Steven Adams. Portland with the ball. 4-point game. He gets it in there.